What turns a person into an antinatalist? If you don't know what an antinatalist is a person that doesn't want to have children because having children is wrong. So we're not talking about a person that just does not want to have children. We're talking about a person that actually thinks that no one should have children because having children is wrong. So what turns a person that originally wanted to have children into an antinatalist? Especially if each and every earthling has been programmed to want to make copies of itself. That's how we've been programmed. Each and every animal here has been programmed to want to make copies of itself. So what makes a person say, nah, I am not going to make copies of myself? What sources that level of defiance? Is it intelligence? Do some people become so intelligent that they actually realize that it is not a good idea for them to make copies of themselves, or for anyone to make copies of themselves? Is it intelligence? Is it compassion? Do people just become so compassionate that they actually realize that, no man, we live in a world where there's so much suffering, so no, I'm not going to bring another person here. It doesn't make any sense. Is it hatred for humanity? Do some people just start hating humanity and be like, nope, I hate humans, so why should I create another human? Is it suffering? No. Do some people suffer so much that they actually end up not wanting to make copies of themselves because they don't want to see these copies of themselves suffering, because they know how it feels like to suffer? The suffering is hard, it's not easy to live a life of suffering, So do some people just suffer a lot and actually start feeling like having children is actually wrong because they have suffered? The same way that some people do not want to be in relationships anymore because they've had their hearts broken, Can happen. Someone breaks your heart and you end up not wanting to be in a relationship anymore because you know how it feels like to be heartbroken. So you're like, nah, no way, I'm not going to be in a relationship again. What makes someone decide that they do not want to have children? What I've realized is that it has a lot to do with intelligence than the other things that I've mentioned. Yes, it can happen that you suffer a lot and you don't want to bring another person here to suffer. It can happen that you just hate humanity. You look at humans and be like, nah, the same way that Agent Smith hated humans in the Matrix, he had good reasons to actually hate humans. So it can happen that you hate humans and you end up thinking that it's no longer a good idea for you to reproduce. Sometimes it happens that you become very compassionate and you look at the things that are happening here and you're like, nah man, no one has to go through these things. Sometimes it can happen that you suffer, but it has a lot to do with intelligence, because you can suffer a lot and still don't become an antinatalist. There are people who have suffered like crazy in this world. It's not like people who are antinatalists have suffered more than other people. No. They have suffered. Some of them didn't even suffer that much, There are people who haven't suffered that much, but they're antinatalist. So it has a lot less to do with suffering, but suffering can actually wake you up. Suffering can help you realize what is happening in the world. It can make you more compassionate, because if you haven't really suffered, when you see other people suffering, you might not think that suffering is a big deal. You might think that it's nothing, If you have never had your leg broken, you might think it's nothing, But if you've had your leg broken before, you know that the pain that you feel is unbearable, So you'd be able to understand when a person is in pain after their leg got broken, You can't even move your leg, you just have to just lie in one position. You can't even move it, It's very painful. So if you have experienced something, it's easier for you to understand it. So yes, if you have suffered, it's easier for you to actually understand that, no man, suffering is hard and no one should suffer, That can happen. If you have compassion, it can happen that you realize that, nah man, people shouldn't have to come here and experience what is being experienced. There are a lot of people that are suffering. So even if you have not really suffered, but because of your level of compassion, you might actually be able to understand what other people are going through, and you end up understanding that no, they don't have to be going through what they are going through. And yes, it can happen that you just hate humanity, because we suck. It's not like we are doing very well right now. People suck, man. You look at how people are living in their lives, you're like, man, come on. Yeah, there's nothing to be proud of, man. There's nothing to miss, That's why I would not choose to come back here, After dying, I would not choose to come back here. There's nothing to miss, It's just people doing the same things every day, people just being selfish, just trying to be on top so that they can control other people. It's not beautiful. It's not a beautiful story, It's not a good movie to watch. It's a horrible movie, Even if you are doing well in this world, but if you are really intelligent, this is going to be a horrible movie for you to watch. It's hard to love what is going on. When you see people competing, trying to survive, killing each other, fighting for no good reason, you just feel disappointed. You fall out of love. I've realized that I've fallen out of love with the world. I used to love the world when I was young. I used to love being here when I was young because I didn't think this world was that horrible. I thought, yeah, man, as people, there will be challenges that we'll have to face, but it's all good, it's just life, things are gonna make sense in the end. But you get older and actually realize, wait, nothing makes any sense and we are suffering, The things that we're going through really do not make sense. People are suffering and life does not make any sense. Why are we doing this? And why do we think that bringing more people to actually do this is a good idea? If we're here and we're actually realizing that now the things that are happening really do not make sense, does it really make sense for us to bring more people here? What are they going to experience? What do we think they're going to figure out? It seems like this is it, This is who we are. This is us at our best. There's nothing that we'll be able to do. We're selfish. We don't care about other people, we care about ourselves. We don't care about peace, we may even think that we care about peace, because of what we're going through. But really we don't. We just want things to be good for us. We just want to be happy. That is why when people who complain about what people who are in power are doing get in power, they end up doing the same things. It's easy for a person that's broke and that has nothing to complain and say, oh, people that are in government fucking up our country, they're selfish, they're stealing. But what happens when they get into the same positions? They end up doing the same things that they were complaining about. That's because we're selfish. We only complain about unfairness when we're the ones that are suffering. But when things are working out for us, we don't give a damn if there are things that are unfair that are actually making things go well for us, you know. We don't care. We're humans, we're just trying to survive. We're not special, you know. Even though most of us believe that we're special, you know, people believe that they are special. It's weird that people believe that they are special, you know. And what makes it really weird is that animals don't think that we're special. Animals will attack you, man. A lion will attack you. It will not think that you're special. It will attack you and not even have a problem. So why do you think you're special? We think we're special because we're delusional. It seems like we are so delusional that we don't even see things as they really are. You know, we have made ourselves believe that, nah, man, humans are divine, you know, they're important, you know, more important than other animals. You're not. That is why it's not hard for an animal that's more powerful than you to kill you, you know. And that is why it will not even think twice, you know, because it won't be seeing anything that's special. It won't be seeing anything that's divine, you see. So that's the thing. So really, you're not special. You're just like any other earthlings. That's what people must realize. So really, it makes more sense for us to actually question what is going on because we are conscious enough to see what is going on, you see. We are conscious enough to see what is going on. So if we're conscious enough to see what is going on, why should we not question what is going on? Why should we behave like other animals? So if a person reaches high levels of intelligence where they're actually able to question what is going on, it is really normal for them to actually question the ethics of making copies of themselves. You know, it makes the most sense. Actually, that's the first thing that you question once you become intelligent, you know. Because that's something that we're doing without questioning. It's just something that each and every person thinks, well, it's just something that we've got to do. But really, does it make sense? Does it make sense when we look at our world, when we look at the challenges that people are facing? Just because there are people who have made decisions for them to be here. Because making a copy of yourself doesn't mean that you remain here. No, you're going to die, right? And the copies of yourself are going to continue existing. So is it really worth it? Is it worth the struggle? I understand that we've achieved a lot as humans, but is it worth it? Is it all worth it? What we must understand is that it is possible to achieve a lot even when you are doing things that are wrong, right? You can enslave a race of people, make them do things for you, and you achieve a lot because of that. That can happen. But is it right? Is it the right thing to do? Is it something that we should continue to do, or is it something that we must question? You see? We live in a world where once you are born, you are fucked because you will have to face life. You will have to deal with what people deal with in this world. You will have to deal with the selfishness. You know, people are going to be selfish. People are not going to really care about you, you know, unless you have something that they want. That's how the world works. So you're going to have to deal with that. You don't have a choice. You're going to have to need things, you know. You're going to have needs. So you're going to have to deal with that too. So is it a good thing to actually make someone that's going to have needs that are not going to even be easy to meet, you know? Because it's not easy for some people to meet their needs. We're going to have desires. It's not easy for us to get the things that we desire in this world. In fact, the things that we desire are hard to get. Why? Because it wouldn't be easy for us to allow ourselves to be controlled if we were getting the things that we want. Imagine if you were getting the things that you wanted in this world. Why would you allow another person to control you? But if you're not getting the things that you want, and they say, you know what, do this for us and we're going to give you the things that you want, and then you're going to be willing to do these things that they want you to do for them. It won't matter that much if these things that you are being asked to do are actually good. You won't even question if they are good, if there's not going to be consequences. Sometimes people are afraid of doing things that are wrong because of consequences, not because they just want to do the right thing. People will do anything. They don't care. There's a reason why we treat the animals the way that we treat them. We don't care because there are no consequences. You can kill animals and there's not gonna be a problem. So people are afraid of consequences. That's why they pretend to be good, So yeah, we are being controlled because of our desires, and it's hard to fail to get the things that you desire. It's hard to live with your failures, People are stressing every day because there are things that they want, there are things that they desire, and they're not getting these things. And they're turned into slaves because of that. I mean, what do? You've got desires. You are here in this world and you've got desires. And if you do not get the things that you desire, you suffer. Your own DNA is going to punish you for failing to get the things that you want. It does that. You're not going to be punished by people. You're going to be punished by your own DNA. You're going to desire some things. And if you fail to get these things, your own DNA punishes you. So you end up having to decide whether you're going to fight and suffer, go through hell to get the things that you want so that your own DNA won't punish you. Or you just do nothing and allow your DNA to torture you. So it sucks. And this is what we are subjecting people to when we bring them here, That's reality. It's not like people just come into this world and have fun. Ask yourself, why do people do the things that they do? Do they do the things that they do because they just want to do these things? Do they want to do these things, or they are slaves somehow, They know that there will be consequences if they do not do these things. Do you think people want to wake up in the morning and go to work and be slaves? Do you think that this system is normal because people want it to be normal? They want things to be the way that they are? No, they just don't have a choice because they have desires. They know that they want certain things in this world, So is it okay for me to subject someone to this? Bring someone into a world that does not even care about them? Because believing that this world cares about you is really being delusional. It doesn't care about anyone. People do not care about other people. That's something that you must understand. What we really care about is the people that actually have what we want. You see? People who have what we desire. Those are the people that we care about. If they lose the things that we desire, we're going to stop caring about them. That's what you must understand. That's how things work in this world. So if you want to be loved, make sure that you have things that other people desire. If you don't have the things that other people desire, you'll actually realize that no one really loves you. 50 Cent said something in his recent interview. He said, what I've learned is that if you want something from someone, you might look like you won't have a problem if you don't have it. Like, you can get it somewhere else, you're good, you know? Like, it's not really something that you need, because if they realize that you really need it, they're not gonna give it to you. Or if they do give it to you, you're gonna have to work hard for it. That is why it's much easier for me to make 100 rand. If I decide that I want to make 100 rand, I'm just going to ask money from people, from strangers. It will be easier for me to make 100 rand. Why? Because I'm not dressed like a hobo. You know, I look like I don't need money, right? I'm well dressed. But if I was dressed like a hobo and I walked around asking for money, it will be very hard for me to make 20 rand. People will just look at me and be like, why? Because we don't care about one another. Isn't that the truth? We don't care, because if we really did care about one another, we will help the people that really need our help. We don't help the people that need help. People that need help have to help themselves. We don't help them. We don't care about them. The reason why people will help me is because they will feel like I deserve their help. Something in their subconscious mind will tell them that I deserve their help. And I'm worthy of their help, you know? I'm not some desperate bum that has nothing and that's gonna die if they do not help me. They don't help those kind of people, you know? There's this other video that I watched last day. It was a video of this other rich guy. So this guy decided to dress like a hobo and go to a place that's full of people and collapse, you know? Dressed like a hobo, went to a place that was full of people, and then he collapsed. It took people maybe 15 to 20 minutes to actually realize that that guy collapsed and actually try to help him. And I was like, all right, I'm gonna dress like a person that has money, you know? Let me wear a nice suit, hold a briefcase, and then collapse. As soon as he collapsed, people just helped him. It didn't even take 5 seconds. They saw him collapse and they helped him. This is the kind of world that you live in. No one loves you. Don't ever lie to yourself. No one loves you. What people want is what they want, you know, from other people. That's what they want. That's what they love. You know, it's about them. It's about what they can get from you, you know. If they help you, they can get something. Something tells them that no, you can help. You should help this person because this person can help you. You know, it's not like they are just helping because they are compassionate. Because if they were really compassionate, they will help the people that really need help. You see, we don't help the people that really need help. We pass hobos each and every day, and we don't help them. But if a person that we feel like we might need come and ask for help from us, we'll help them. Even if it's a stranger. You know, there are people who have relatives that are suffering. They're making good money, and they have relatives that are suffering, but they're not helping their relatives because they feel like their relatives ain't gonna become anything in life. They look at them and be like, they don't have potential. What are they going to help me with? You know, this is happening on a subconscious level. It's not like people just think about these things. They just think, I'm like, this person is not going to help me with anything. It's happening on a subconscious level. They can see that, this person is not going to help me with anything. Why should I even care about them? But they won't even understand why they don't care about them, that person. You know, to them it's just it's just going to be like that. I don't care. I care about this other person that seems like they're going to help me in the future. So I'm going to help them, you know. We don't care about one another as people. We don't really love one another. We just need one another, and we call that love, you know. You need another person and you think you love them, you see. I've explained to you that to love someone would actually mean that you actually love them for existing. It will be you generating the love. It wouldn't be coming from what you are seeing. You know, it wouldn't be coming from outside. It will be you generating that love. So you see a person and you like, you generate love. You don't see anything that you like about them. You don't see anything that you can gain from them. So what I'm saying to you is that there isn't a person that you just love. You see, you're not generating love. Love is actually you realizing that you want something from someone. Simple as that. And you call it love. I can't live without you. I can't live without you. Yes, you can't live without that person because of what you think you need. You see? It's as simple as that. Don't let anyone lie to you. You know, don't let anyone lie to you. So we need to grow up and become conscious so that we'll be able to realize how the world really works. See everything for what it is, you know, not what it seems to be, you know, because there's a way that things seem to be, and there's a way that things really are. Most of humanity see things as they seem to be, you know, and the way things seem to be is good, you know. But what's really going on? That's what you must understand. I've just explained to you what love is. I've just explained to you what really goes on in your mind when you fall in love with another person. I'm just trying to show you that there are a lot of things that you think are actually good that ain't good, you know. We're selfish. We're inherently selfish. We're doing things for selfish reasons. We can lie to ourselves all we want, but we're selfish and we're doing things for selfish reasons. If we were not selfish, the world will not be the way that it is today. There will be no people that are homeless. There will be no people that are suffering. There will be no people that need money. To pay a doctor, for an example. There are people who don't have money and they need money maybe for an operation. No one gives a fuck. No one is going to be like, okay, this person is really sick and they really need help, and they help them. It doesn't work like that. You are in hell. You don't live in a world that really cares about you, and we know that, you know. People ask themselves why some people are depressed. It's because they know the truth. They know that no one cares about them, you know. You will be depressed if you live in a world that does not care about you. We know that. Deep down, we know that, hey, man, no one really cares about me, so I got to work, you know, I got to grind. You know, I live in a world where I can easily lose everything if I don't keep on working. If I don't become a slave, I'm going to lose everything. So it's up to me to decide whether I'm going to be a slave and work very hard and get the things that I want, at least get to be needed by people, or actually have nothing, chill and do nothing and have nothing and be overlooked by people and be alone. What you have to choose your pain, you know. You have to choose your pain. So it is obvious to someone like me that it is beyond wrong to subject anyone to this. You know, it is beyond wrong. Like, it is the worst thing that you can do. It is worse than each and everything that you can think of. You understand that? Bringing a person into this world is worse than anything that you can think of. I'm not going to lie to you. You are just operating at a very low level of consciousness that you don't get what I'm really saying to you. This world is evil, man. That is the truth. You know, you just have to keep on growing, man. Keep on reaching high levels of understanding. That's when you'll be able to understand what I'm really saying. Because it's not that obvious, you know. There are a lot of things that keep us distracted, you know. We have feelings. These feelings control how we think. You see people and you love them, and you just think it means that this world is good. I've got to experience love, and I've told you that love isn't even what you think it is. Everything can be understood, and once you understand everything for what it is, you actually realize that this world is not what it seems. It is obvious, man. There are a lot of things that are happening in this world that are really messed up, but there's nothing that is more messed up than bringing people into this world, especially because you cannot get their consent. So you're creating these new people without their consent, and they're gonna find themselves having needs, wants. They're gonna find themselves desiring things, and they're gonna find themselves having to work to get these things, having to do things that they shouldn't even need to be doing to get these things. No one has to be working for 8 hours a day. No one. It's slavery, and it's obvious that it's slavery. But we are pretending as if it's not slavery. We are pretending as if that's good. No, it's not. It's not good. No one has to wake up in the morning and go to work. We don't even need to work. For things to work in this world, we don't need to be working 8 hours a day. In fact, for things to work, let me tell you the truth. For things to work in this world, for things to work in this world, what I'm going to tell you is the truth. Each and every person that's in this world will need to at least work for an hour a day. That's it. Yeah, what I just said. For things to work in this world, for this world to be balanced, for people to be happy, for things to be okay, people will just need to work for an hour a day. That's it. Each and every person will just need to work for an hour a day. You just work for 1 hour, and another person comes and pick things up from where you left them, and continue to work. That's it. That's it. You wouldn't need to be working 8 hours a day. We just need to do the things that are actually necessary, because most of the things that we have, we don't even need these things. We don't even need these things. We need these things because we've created a system that has enslaved people, and we want them to remain slaves, not us. So, the people that are controlling everything because they're benefiting, they're the ones that are living life. We are slaves. They're the ones that are actually enjoying. You're not enjoying life. You have to lie to people and pretend as if you're doing okay. Make people believe that your life is great. You are loving the experience, but you're going through hell. That nothing is working out in your life. That you're praying every day. You want things to change. You feel like God doesn't even care about you, but you don't know what to do. What do? You were told that God is going to be there for you. God cares about you, and He's going to help you. He's going to give you the things that you want. So you pray. But you realize that no matter how hard I pray every day, but nothing changes. But what do? I don't understand what's really going on in this world, I'm not going to just give up. They say I shouldn't give up, so I must just keep on praying. I must just keep on fighting. But really, are you happy? Are you really enjoying your life? Or you're just pretending as if you are enjoying your life because you know that no one cares about you? Have you ever been in a situation where you know no one cares about you, so you have to pretend to be okay because you know that they will be happy if you're not okay? That sucks. That's painful, man. You're in a situation where you're like, dude, no one cares about me, so I have to pretend to be okay because they'll be happy that I'm not okay. So I have to act as if I'm okay, so that, because it's going to be painful when you see that these people don't care about you, when you are reminded that these people don't care about you, So we know that no one cares about us, so we have to pretend, We can't really say, oh man, I'm not feeling okay. This really sucks. I don't know what to do with my life. I have nothing. I'm 40 years old. I have nothing to show. I've been trying to find work my whole life. I've got nothing. I have no money. I don't even have a place, my own place. I got nothing. You can't come out and say that. You see, the stories that we get to hear, the stories of people that actually get to make it in this world, you know. But the stories of people that didn't get to make it, we don't get to hear their stories. So we end up believing that people that get to make it are people that work very hard, and it has nothing to do with that. It has everything to do with luck, you know. The game is rigged, so it really has to do with luck. Life is like being blindfolded, né? And told that, you know, there's treasure somewhere and there's snakes everywhere, there's poisonous snakes everywhere. Go and try to find the treasure. Some people are going to find the treasure, some people are going to get beaten by snakes. That's it. That's how life is, you know. It has nothing to do with how hard you work. People believe that you have to work hard in order to make it. It has nothing to do with that, you know. Sometimes working hard can actually end up being a bad idea. There's this other documentary that I watched. It was the documentary of this guy. I forgot his name. But this guy got arrested. I think they found him with illegal weapons. So they arrested him and took a mugshot of him. And somehow it ended up on the internet. And the guy became famous because of that and started making a lot of money, even when he was in prison, because he was so fucking handsome. You see, he became famous for doing the wrong thing and it changed his life. So really, succeeding in this world has nothing to do with doing the right things. You never know what to do, you know. You can decide to do something that everyone thinks is wrong and end up succeeding. You might decide to do things that each and every person thinks is actually right, and boom, you end up not succeeding, you know. So there are a lot of people who have worked way harder than Elon, you know. People who have worked harder than that Mark Zuckerberg guy or whatever, and they got nothing. They've worked very hard and they were intelligent. They were more intelligent than these guys, but they still got nothing. You know, this world is unpredictable, you know. It's not like if you work very hard, you're going to succeed. You never know. Anything can happen. You know, you might decide that you go to school and you know, follow the rules and end up not making it. Or you decide that, you know what, I don't want to go to school. I'm just going to chill at home and just smoke weed. And then somehow something happened and you end up becoming rich, you know. It's life. It has to do with luck sometimes, you know. There's this other chick that made millions because she said, catch me outside on Dr. Phil. Catch me outside, how about that? And she made millions. I remember Dr. Phil was being interviewed by Joe Rogan and he was like, yo, man, it's sad that there are people that are doing things that are really important in this world, you know. People that are helping other people. And this girl makes millions from just saying, catch me outside, how about that? You never know, you know. So if you are broke and you have nothing, don't blame yourself. You know, because we don't know how this world works. The things just seem to happen, you know, out of nowhere. It has nothing to do with hard work, man. Don't ever let anyone lie to you. Because when people make it, they'll tell themselves that, oh, it's because I worked hard. If I didn't work hard, look, there are people who worked harder than you and they got nothing. You were just lucky. That is the truth. It doesn't mean, listen, we live in a world where there's something that we can get, right? So there must be people who get these things. That is the truth. There are things that we want and that we can get. We want money. And there are some people that are supposed to have money. It's not like money is out of reach. No, there has to be some people that get to have money. So some people are going to end up having it. It has nothing to do with hard work. Lots of people that are rich haven't worked hard for their money. Believe it or not, a lot of people that are rich haven't really worked hard. You see, life tends to give us things that we just that we didn't even work for. Like, you can work hard for things and not get these things, but look at the things that you've got. Did you really work hard for the things that you got, or that you just happen to have these things out of nowhere, like by luck, by chance? You just find yourself having these things. It just happens, you know. If you have a nice job, you just decided to apply, and they called you, and you went for an interview, and you got it. You know, you didn't look. There are people that needed a job more than you, and that would have done anything to get it, and that will be good at it. You know, like that would be 10 times better than you are at the job, but they didn't get the job. So really, it's all based on luck, on chance. You never know what's gonna happen. You never know if going to school is gonna help you. You never know if pursuing your passion is gonna help you. You never know if being lazy and doing nothing is gonna help you. You know, smoking weed, doing drugs, and stealing. You don't know if there's. You never know. So we live in a world that's very difficult to live in. You know, life is not easy. You know, people are just lied to when they're kids. They're made to believe that life is easy. No, it's not. It's not easy, man. You know, it's not easy. Especially when you are between the ages of 20 and 30. Yeah, you're gonna see that life is really, really hard, you know. So yeah, man, we need to open our eyes, ask ourselves what's really important, you know, what we should do. You know, is it really worth it to be bringing people into a world like this and allowing them to suffer, and no one really helps them? You know, they just have to help themselves as if they asked to be here. Because that's what bothers me. We act as if people asked to be here. Like, yeah, it's your life, you gotta do this and that. Like, hey man, they didn't ask to be created. They shouldn't have been created if things are going to be the way that they are. You know, we should have questioned that in the first fucking place. That should these people be created? Should we create people to be slaves? For what? You know? Obviously something is wrong with everyone. Obviously something is wrong with the animals too. They've been programmed to want to torture one another. There's this other channel on TikTok that where they upload videos of animals attacking each other. I usually read the comments to see what people think, and people just seem to notice that something isn't right, you know. I remember I watched this other video where hyenas were eating a cow and it was still alive, you know. It was still alive. They didn't give it down. You know how hyenas are, just eating it alive. And people were like, yo, this is just wrong. This is just, like, they can see, you know. Some people were saying God. Because, you know, the reason why people don't really see what's going on is because they don't get to see life from each and every perspective. You don't get to see life from the perspective of a cow. You don't get to see life from the perspective of a hyena, from the perspective of a rabbit, from the perspective of a person that has cancer, from the perspective of a person that's homeless. You only get to see life from your perspective. So you tend to just think, you know, life is actually good, or it's not that bad, you know, because you don't really get to see what people are going through. But once you see that, hey man, so this is how animals live, but this is wrong. Like, why are things supposed to be like this? I mean, these hyenas are literally eating this cow alive and it's in pain. How is this okay? How do we justify this? How is this beautiful? How can we say nature is beautiful? Something is not right, you know. You can see that. But because we live in a world where we are constantly being brainwashed, you have to understand that we're being brainwashed. We're being made to believe what we shouldn't believe, you know, about the things that are happening. So horrible things happen and we're supposed to think, it's okay, man, it's just life, you know, this is how things are, you know, it's beautiful, man, God knows what he's doing, you know. That's what they make us believe. But Really doesn't make sense to believe that. It makes more sense to believe we are fucked, we are in some kind of a hell, and really the most logical thing to do is to escape. And the best way to escape is by making sure that we don't make copies of ourselves. Let's see what happens if we stop making copies of ourselves. Are they going to clone humans? What are they going to do? If people just stop reproducing, what will they do? The reason why we're here is because they need us. There are people, there are people that are more powerful than us that actually need us, that know things that we don't know about this world, that have technology that allows them to do almost anything. They need us, they want us. So we're supposed to be here and participate in this game, in these stupid experiments, And they don't even have to do much anymore because they've programmed us to want to make copies of ourselves. There's a reason why when I see a naked woman, I get an erection. I've been programmed to want to make copies of myself. I've been programmed to actually want to perform these experiments that they probably were performing on animals here on Earth. Like, I've been programmed to just want to do that, to help them, Because making babies is actually doing an experiment. Believe it or not, when you meet a person that you love and you're like, I want to make babies with this person, you're actually doing an experiment. You don't know what's going to come out. It's possible that you create an offspring that's not healthy and that's always in pain. But it's also possible that you create an offspring that is healthy. So it's really doing an experiment. You don't know what's going to come out, Well, we've been programmed that way. We must do these experiments, bring humans here without even questioning what we're doing, which is a sign of stupidity. That's why I said in the beginning that no, man, actually, becoming an antinatalist is actually a sign of intelligence, What sources that level of defiance is intelligence. You cannot become an antinatalist if you are stupid. It doesn't happen that way. I don't believe that there's an antinatalist that's actually stupid. I don't think it's possible. Unless that person is an antinatalist for the wrong reasons, that can happen. Person can become an antinatalist because they're going through something at the time, and once things get better, they change their minds. There are people who are just too broke and they just realize that they're broke, so they're like, oh, I'm an antinatalist. There are people who are just depressed and they just find the philosophy of antinatalism relatable, so they say they're antinatalist. But people who actually know that actually it's wrong to bring children into this world for real, it doesn't matter what you have, it doesn't matter how you're doing in this world. These are people that are real antinatalist. These are the people that should be trusted. So what I'm saying to you is that these people are really intelligent, because it takes very high levels of intelligence to actually realize that. You don't just realize that out of nowhere. You need to be intelligent to realize that you don't have to do what you have been programmed to do. It's not a good idea to do some of the things that you've been programmed to do. If you see that what you've been programmed to do isn't right, you don't do it. That's intelligence. You don't just do things just because you've been programmed to do that. If we were all doing the things that we've been programmed to do, this world will be 10 times worse than it is. this war will be 10 times worse than it is, you know. If I just decided that, you know what, right now I'm angry at that person, I feel like killing them, go and kill them. You see, the world would be too messed up. Oh, right now I'm jealous. I mean, my girlfriend likes that guy, I gotta take him out. Oh, that person has my job. If this person dies, I get the position, so they gotta go. I don't like girls. Now, guys sometimes when they've been through a lot, like, I don't like girls, man. Girls are this and that. I saw this other guy, he posted something on Facebook, like he just got his heart broken. He posted that he's done with women. Like, he's done. He's so angry at women. So if a guy feels like that, he just goes and just attack women. You know what I mean? Like, we need to be able to operate at a very high level of intelligence. You know, try to do what is actually rational, things that we're going to be proud of in the end. Because when you are angry, when you are emotional, you tend to do things that are stupid. When you just do what you are programmed to do, what nature wants you to do, you tend to do things that are actually stupid, things that you don't end up being proud of. Think of the things that you say when you are angry. I mean, they make sense when you're angry. It makes sense to be saying these things. You can say the most horrible things and it will be making sense at the time. But after some few hours, you look back and be like, shit, I really fucked up this time. I really fucked up this time. That's the same thing that happens when you are in love, you know. You're in love with a person, you'll do anything for them, you know. Leave your friends for them. Marry them. Then when you guys break up, they get half your shit. And you ask yourself, why did I get married to this person? You blame yourself, you know. You blame yourself. It's because of love. It's because of emotions. It's because of feelings. So you have to trust your intelligence. You always have to think. Make sure that when you make a decision, it has nothing to do with how you're feeling. It has everything to do with what you think. That's how you make the right decisions, you know. Feelings are temporary. Today you can feel angry and tomorrow you feel happy, you know. You might feel like you don't love someone today and then tomorrow you end up feeling like you love them, you know. Feelings can change. Moods can change, you know. I wasn't feeling the way that I'm feeling now in the morning. My mood changes, you know. I think I'm bipolar, really, but no one can ever see that because I always control myself. So even if I get angry, even if I get too really sad, you won't see that. Like I've found a way to manage my bipolar, you know. And really, if you think I'm intelligent, it's because I'm bipolar. Because people who are bipolar, they don't get to, they get to feel too much. You know what I mean? Like I think each and every human doesn't get to feel the same the whole day. Like there will be a time when you feel sad, there will be a time when you feel angry, there will be a time when you feel super excited, you know? I think that's how we are. And I mean not super, I don't mean, let me put it this way. Yeah, there will be a time when you feel excited, happy, angry, sad. But with people that are bipolar, when they feel excited, they feel too excited. When they feel angry, they feel too angry. When they feel sad, they feel too, you know what I mean? So that's how I am. And when I'm angry, I'm able to think deeply. When I'm sad, I'm also able to think, you know, like I'm able to reach higher levels of understanding based on how I'm feeling. Even when I'm feeling too happy, I'm able to reach higher levels of understanding, you know? So that's how bipolar is like, you know. So once you know how to use it to your advantage, you can actually use it as a superpower. Really, it can actually become a superpower. So that's how I look at it. There was a time when I was young where I couldn't like really control my anger. I would just be angry, breaking stuff, you know, breaking my phone, hurting myself. But now no one people don't think that I even get angry because they never see me angry. Like I'm very, like I look like the most stable human being in the world. No matter what will be happening, I'll be stable as fuck because I've trained myself. So what happens when I'm angry is that I start philosophizing. That's what I do. I don't allow my anger to control me. I just start philosophizing. I just start reaching new levels of understanding. And when the anger is gone, the level that I've reached, I will have reached a new level of understanding. You know, the wisdom that I will have gained from the experience is not going to go away. I will still know what I've discovered when I was angry. So that's beautiful in a way. But yeah, you always have to control how you feel, man. We live in a cruel world. If you don't control how you feel, you're going to make this experience much harder for yourself and for other people, you know. Going to make it much harder than it needs to be. It's already hard, man. There are a lot of things that are happening that are not good, a lot of things that are happening that are not fair, and unfortunately that is our reality. That's what we've got to deal with, you know. So really it is important that we think before we make any decision. We make sure that the decisions that we're making are not influenced by our feelings, because our feelings can change. There's a reason why people who became antinatalists don't ever change their mind, because it has nothing to do with feelings. For most of them, it's just them reaching high levels of understanding. And once you reach a high level of understanding, there's no going back. That's why they say once you open your third eye, there's no going back. You cannot unsee what you have seen, you know. You can't. Once you see some truth, you have seen it, and it becomes your reality. You see, so you cannot unknow what you know. You cannot ununderstand what you understand. So once you become an antinatalist, that's it. You are an antinatalist. You understand what's really happening, and because you understand what's happening, you know what needs to be done, you know. So people decide that, you know what, the best thing that I can do is, you know, make sure that I don't make copies of myself. Because you have the power to do that. You don't have to force anyone to do anything. You just decide on your own that, you know what, at least I can make sure that I break generational curses by not bringing in more generations, you know, because it's not necessary at all. There's no point, there's no meaning to it, you know. It's not like I will be doing something that is meaningful, something that I should be proud of. It will just be something that's stupid, really. Because I don't even know what this world is. I don't understand what's going on. Isn't it strange that we don't have a clue what is going on, and people think that they should be reproducing? It's actually funny. You ask people, yo, what do you think is going on? They can't tell you, but they be reproducing. It really doesn't make sense, man. It will make sense to reproduce if we knew what we are actually doing. Because it is possible that this world could be anything. If we don't know what it is, and we can see that there are people that are suffering like crazy. There are people that are being controlled, people that are being treated unfairly in this world, people who don't care about. We know we should be able to realize that no, anything is possible. It could be a hell of some sort, it could be a prison, could be a torture chamber, could be who could be like lab rats, you know. Anything is possible. So people become antinatalist because they think, you know, they're intelligent enough to think, which is something that is really important, you know. You must be intelligent enough to question the things that are happening in this world rather than just playing along, you know. That doesn't help anyone. It doesn't help you. It doesn't help the people that you'll be bringing here. It doesn't even help society, you know. There are many people that are in this world today, and the more we reproduce, the more people suffer, because it's not like there are people that are creating employment for people that are being born. The world doesn't work like that. Doesn't mean that when you're born automatically you're gonna have a place in society. You have to fight for your place in society, and that's not easy, you know. The more people are here, the harder it's going to be for people to make it, for people's lives to make sense. That is why a lot of people are lonely now, you know. This world is full of people, but a lot of people are lonely. That's because we don't know what to do. We're confused, you know. We have no clue what to do. As guys, we know that if we don't have money, then we're fucked, you know. And that's reality. It's not something that guys have not experienced. It's something that each and every guy has experienced. So I think that's one of the biggest problems that people are dealing with. They are dealing with lack of meaning, and I am forgetting. Sharp. So they are dealing with lack of meaning and lack of purpose. They don't know what to do. They don't know how to play their roles in this world. They know that if they don't have anything, no one is going to love them, and they'll have to deal with that because they live in a world that's like that. If you have things, lots of people are going to love you because they have nothing. That's the game that we're playing now. So yeah, I'm happy that there are people who understand this and who have decided that it doesn't make sense at all for them to be reproducing. Thank you all, guys.